Welcome to Stories of Friendship. This is your host, Morris Anderson, and I'm joined today by George and Marisol. George and Marisol, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourselves?
Yes, ladies first. Let me figure out. As a friend.
As a friend. Good morning, guys. Well, it's morning for us. I don't know what time you're watching, but my name is Marisol Escalante. And I am so happy to be here today. And my amazing and handsome husband and best friend is right next to me.
Hi, my name is Escalante. I'm George. However you would like to call me. And Mr. Morris here has been such a great friend to us for many years now, and in the professional capacity and also as a friend, just hanging out. And we're so blessed to be here. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys for joining me. Like they said, it is a Saturday morning, so they're sacrificing some time to hop on here with us. All right, George and Marisol. So we were talking about some of your amazing friends that you have, and you were telling me a story about selling your house. So I would love to just start on the beginning, start from the beginning on that one.
We're going to start with tough love this morning.
Tough love.
Right into that story.
And these are some of our best friends. We knew, him for more than 16 years, right? Before we met his lovely wife. And we're at
How did you guys meet
wedding. So we met at church. We were running a youth group, and he came into the youth, young adult group. And we met him there, and we just hit it off. He was a great friend, great. He also supported us with the ministry, and then so later on was when he met his wife and his bride to be, right?
Yes, and they were trying to be good. They were trying to wait till marriage and do things right. So he would bring her over every weekend, so he didn't have a lot of time alone with her for something. And then she was like, "Take me somewhere else." But anyway, we became so close, and they're just our best friends for a long time. But we were telling Morris, these are friends that are they're thriving people. They're always on the move. They're good with business. They're good with money.
Always wanting to
help others grow as well.
Yeah.
So for a long time, we were telling them we would like to sell our house. It had equity. It had a lot of equity. And so they were like, yeah, well, right now, these are the opportunities you can take. And we suggest you do this because they're good with business. This is what we would do. We'd be like, yeah. We'll think about it. And then the next time we saw each other a couple months later, it's like, oh, yeah, well, we're thinking of selling our house. And then they're like, yeah, we talked about it, but that opportunity is gone for this business. Now you could do this and this. And guys, so many times, every time they were so patient and loving, they had a new strategy for us, right?
But our indecisiveness was getting to them.
Yeah.
Should have been getting to us too.
Yes, because we were always more afraid, huh, baby? Because we were like, okay, well, we have little ones and we don't have a lot of money. So we weren't even telling well, you have more money. So it's easy for you to take
You're more comfortable
making those decisions. Anyway, the pandemic hit, and right when it hit, we were just man, we missed out. We had we had a good amount of equity, and who's going to want to buy a house now?
No one's going to want to go see homes during COVID.
This was the beginning. We were for sure we missed our opportunity. No one's going to buy houses right now. And so we're crying to them, and they were what did they say?
Stop it.
They're stop it. They weren't that nice. Honestly, they were listen, you've been talking about this forever. Now you're crying that you missed out on this opportunity.
Make a choice.
Make a choice or shut up. That's that first time they ever said the word shut up to us. And we were so offended. And he's
you need those kinds of friends.
Sometimes they were we're so sorry. We love you so much. We've been watching you sit on this opportunity for a long time. So you're going to tell us right now, do you want us to sell your house? Yes. And we'll do it. Or
we're
no.
Done talking about it.
And we're done talking about it. If you need an agent, you go talk to someone else. Because we have been emotionally invested in this, and you've had us on a roller coaster. So we're just looking at each other, and we're
yes,
we want to sell our house. And so they're okay, all right.
That was a Wednesday.
We'll let you guys know the details. This was on Wednesday. On Friday, I go out. He goes to work, and I go out to get the mail. And as I'm coming back, I see there's a for sale sign on our house.
In the yard.
And I was like, what in the world? So I call him, and I'm like, babe, what's going on? There's a for sale sign on the house.
We still didn't believe that we had said yes.
Yes, well, we said yes, but whatever, we'll talk.
It'll come.
It'll come. And so he was like, I have no idea. Let me call him. And he was like, you said yes. So listen, I can have somebody go pick up the sign right now. And like, we'll continue to be friends and we'll love you and we'll guide you. But like, that's it with this conversation between us. He's like, or we go on. And we were like so scared, but we trusted them because they just want best for us. So by Monday, friends, an offer was accepted. We were bombarded with offers beyond what we thought we could get, way beyond what we thought we could get for the house. And we are in our new house. This is what, 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Guys, after we made that move, our life changed completely, drastically. I mean, we have made moves now together with them, trusting them, and like our finances, our business, our finances have quadrupled. So many blessings came from that decision. So we need friends sometimes that'll be a little bit tough on us, but because they want the best for us.
So now their question is okay. So where's your next home, right?
Yeah. Now we're talking about like where are we getting.
So
the
there's always
home?
that growth mindset with them. So those are good friends to have, even though you feel challenged at times and maybe in disagreement, because there are disagreements, but it's good. They are very good friends to have.
Oh, I love to hear it, because this is the power of friendship. When friends stand up for you and say, you have this great opportunity, you're going to put your money where your mouth is, or we're done talking about it, just so that they can see you move. And it's so prosperous, right? Yeah. So, okay, that's such a great story to open up. Now, you guys, I'm sure, have plenty of friends outside of marriage, but tell me about your friendship within your marriage. How do you guys support one another, not only as a married husband and wife, but how are you friends?
So a lot of times going into marriage, of course there's responsibility, there's expectations from each other, there might be some rules that need to be respected, and so we unfortunately, a lot of times we forget that there has to be friendship between the couple. A lot of times we just go into it and it's like turns into a roommate because it becomes a routine, and it shouldn't be so. Marisol is my best friend. I consider her my best friend. We do things together. We talk. We argue sometimes, right? And we're raising three kids, so there's a lot of boys. There's a lot of discussion there and planning, and we understand that we love our friendship, and we also know that there needs to be other friendships. It's just
it becomes complicated to. I can understand why it's hard for people to see friendship in marriage, because it's so, at first it's passionate, it's like emotional, exciting and new things. Best friends forever, ride or die, you and me under a bridge forever against the world, right? But it really comes down to, you get busy, and then it's like, okay, we have to meet like intimate needs, and then we have to meet like survival needs, right? Like we need to like work together to pay rent. And then, like you said, we become roommates that we like work on everything together, and then we're exhausted, and then we still have to find like intimacy till as like, a marriage. But then friendship is still like nowhere to be found. And so what if I don't need your sexual touch? What if I don't need your like husband role right now to like come and rescue me? And I just need you to sit with me. Like, I need you to know me. I need you to know, like, I just need some ice cream right now, and like, I need you to sit next to me, and I just need to watch a movie.
And I don't need to come and solve every issue that comes to mind,
because he's the man of the home and he knows how to do things.
Sometimes you just be quiet, sit down and listen and just.
But how do you communicate that to one another with so much going on? Because obviously raising 3 kids and working and then managing the household. And then, like you said, like you have your marriage responsibilities and normal functions. How do you communicate that? I just need my friend right now.
I wish I could tell you there's like this look we give each other, and like telepathic like
And
communication.
this beautiful romantic music comes on.
Yeah, like
and
honestly, like I do believe there is this after so many years, like chemicals exchange and stuff, and there is this like almost telepathic communication, right, that you build with a friend. But it's come down to like if none of that's working, like everything's out of tune, there's no connection, there's no Wi-Fi, and those like looks or cues, like you need to just say it.
Yes.
And I used to be so embarrassed. I used to be like, I shouldn't have to say it. He should know, right? Like, and we do that.
The head movement comes into play.
Because like we do that even with like our outside friends, right? We're like, they should know, they should have been there, they should have, everybody has stuff going on. Everybody. So you literally have to sometimes just voice it and say, look, I just need you to be my friend right now. Like I need a friend. You communicate. And that has been so hard for me because it was like cheesy and I felt like I shouldn't have to, but sometimes there are unreasonable expectations.
I'm glad that you're asking these questions, Morris, because I appreciate them, that transparency is key in any relationship. And a lot of times in the movies, what do we see? They meet the challenge, they solve it, and then it says, and they lived
happily
ever after, and it doesn't get to the real. And so we're being real right now.
Right. No, and this is beautiful because I think a lot of couples do struggle to recognize and remember that there has to be a friendship, a bond that is just two humans that love each other instead of all of the responsibilities and expectations that come along with the titles.
But Morris, I thank you for I'm just so grateful that you're bringing this conversation because it's so important to us. Like this whole relationship, all relationships thing is so important to us. But talking about relationship, like, don't you just know, Morris, like, do you have somebody that you spend so much, that you're so intentional about, that it's not so much about you? Like, we're self-centered individuals. We were born that way because of survival. Like when we meet our needs, like when we're babies, like, wow, otherwise, how do I communicate? I am hungry, or, it's like, I'm going to die, feed me, change my diaper. So we should grow out of it, but a lot of us don't. And we're so self-centered for the most part of life because it's a survival
no matter how
skill.
mature we are, it comes back sometimes.
It's a survival skill, right?
Yeah,
I need the brain's whole function and job and purpose is to keep us alive.
Right.
And so it needs to scan, what do I need at all times? But I feel like if it's not through verbal communication that we say it, like, somebody's needs because you're outward focused. You're focused on the other person. So when you care so much about another person that you're focused on noticing him, hearing him, seeing him, studying him, then he won't necessarily have to voice it all the time and tell me, Marisol, I need a friend right now. Mm-hmm. Because I'm so focused on him, or aware is the word. I'm so aware of him when I'm with him. He's that valuable to me that I'm aware of him, that a lot of times he doesn't have to tell me because
that's beautiful.
And other times I'm like, don't make me better. Just be mad at him with me.
Be on my side on this one.
Yeah.
He's like, don't be my wife, don't be my coach. Just be mad with me. I'm like, all right, baby.
I like aware, and then also like consider, because I think consideration of another, platonic or romantic,
yes.
It's saying, I know, I think I'm right, and I have a good perspective on this, but I need to consider you regardless, right?
Regardless, I like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we were talking about the 5 love languages, because you guys have thought about those and obviously probably use them in your relationship. Do those come into play when you talk about trying to bring this friendship in and considering each other?
Those are vital, Morris. Those are incredibly vital because, and I know she's gonna tell a story about my parents right now. when we talk love languages, that story comes in because it makes sense, right?
But that's funny because in my head I'm like, don't tell the story. Stay focused.
We're with Morris. We got to tell the juicy stuff.
Okay.
So we do need to understand that these love languages, we don't just have to listen and learn them, but we need to speak them. And I need to learn how to, just like if I go to another country, I need to communicate with their language. With my wife, she has her own love language. With my friends, they have their own love language. So I need to learn how to speak those certain love languages. For example,
so his parents, I have permission to tell the story. They gave me permission once. I don't know if they still remember, but oh well, they gave me permission once. So I will keep telling this story. So my father-in-law, my mother-in-law, they've been married for ages, probably like going on 50 years soon.
Yeah.
So or 45 years. And so out of nowhere, one day she was just bothered, and she was, just like, you could tell she did not want to be in the same room as him. And he was like, Mari, what's going on? Like, what did I do to you? I don't understand. And she's like, I'm just sick and tired that you don't care about me. And he was
you don't take me anywhere.
You don't take me anywhere. You don't spend time with me. And he was like, what is going on? Like, and she's like, well, I'm tired of seeing all these couples and they do all this stuff together. And he was like, Mari, I take you to the movies almost every single Friday. Like, that has been our thing. And he's like, how dare you say I don't take you anywhere? Every Friday, I plan it. I buy the tickets. I buy the popcorn. We're together. I take you to the movies. This is like 30 something years after going to the movies, like almost every Friday. And she goes, I hate the movies. I hate the theater. And he was like, what? And she was like, it is the worst place anybody could be on a Friday night. And you've been dragging me there every single Friday for half of my life. And
so he didn't know her love language at the time, right?
Her love language.
Or maybe he was focused more on that love language than hers.
Because
it was his.
He loves the movies. His favorite place to be is the movies. So he thought that just because he loved it and he enjoyed it and it was where he wanted to be.
And that's like quality time, right? He
was like, well, I bring you along, so I'm taking you somewhere. And she was like, no, I want to sit at a park. I want to just be on our couch, just you and I, and talk. Like, I can't even see you in the theater. I can't even talk to you. Like, we work all week. We don't talk. And then I got to be quiet in this room. Right. And so the love languages are so important because just because you think you're showing love in the way that you would feel loved does not mean that the other person might be hating it. Just like she had to suffer through the theater for 30 something years before she could voice. But, she should have voiced it a long time ago.
That's a real good book. And I would just say 2 steps for that, because there's so many steps that need to be taken and that you can learn. But 2 steps is, first of all, learning the love languages, because as humans, we have for sure those 5 love languages. And then the second step is being intentional about speaking that language. Again, like when you go to another country, you can either try to speak the language or you cannot be understood, or you won't understand them. And with these love languages, be intentional about listening and understanding that language that Marisol has.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Jorge has a buddy. He has a friend. Their thing is like anytime he's over, Jorge will order, if we can't go, he'll order the Costco cookies, like the little chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah.
They're not expensive, guys. I mean, relatively, but like, talking about like giving him a gift, right? He's not spending $40, $50. But every time he's around, he's intentional. Like, we have to have those cookies and like a certain brand of coffee. So let's say we spend under $20. Well, this guy, he stands taller. He's proud. He will do anything for him. And anytime you ask him, he's like, he always thinks of me. Like, he always has my
He even
cookies.
Tells his wife.
He's like, he makes me feel more important than you do. And like, it's cookies.
Yeah, it's such simple language.
To him, it's like, it's a gift. He's like, his language is gifts, but he won't get. It's not like you have to give him $1,000 gift, right?
Yes.
To him, it's just the fact that you thought you were aware of me and what I like, and
his
you had cookies. So sometimes we complicate it because we're like, oh yeah, your love language is gifts. Of course,
get jewelry, you gotta get a car,
or your love,
love
language is time. What is I lost the word. My
quality
Spanish
time?
Quality time. My Spanish and English mix, and then I don't make any.
You know someone that's quality time?
Yes. No. Yes. So so it's like quality time. So his is quality time. So I used to be like, well, like, we don't have money to go on a vacation. We don't have, like, how am I supposed to put something together for us to take off?
Or I got to do the dishes, or I got to clean the house, or
like,
we got to do this, or we got to do that.
Yeah, like I have to do all these things so that I can have the time to sit with you or to go somewhere with you. I'm sorry, not sit with you, go somewhere. And then he had to communicate with me like, look, I don't care if the house is not perfect. I don't care if, like, I just need you to sit with me. That's quality time.
Because Morris, ever since we've been married, like, she cooks dinner every single night. Recently, she hasn't been able to, just because she's so busy with the business that we've started. But every single night she had to have this fancy,
like a 3-course dinner.
And so I had to tell her, honey, like, we don't need, we do need it. I love your cooking. I love food. But,
yeah, you get that.
But we don't need it. No, we don't need it every single night. I rather you come sit down with the boys, come sit down with us, and of course, not that it's your responsibility to be in charge of the household, because we need to share all responsibilities in the household.
But just I didn't understand that. I thought quality time needed to be complicated. Like, I need to plan out this whole thing, and if I'm gonna sit with him, everything needs to be perfect around, and I need to look this way. And he was just like, no, look, just leave the dishes, let the water burn, and sit down.
Yeah.
Like, with me for 10 minutes, and that's quality time. And then we do this with friends too, outside friends. Like, how many of us are like, oh, we got to hang out. Oh, yeah. And we're like, oh, yeah, let's go check out this new place. And like, oh, there's no reservations. Oh, it's too far. Oh, I can't make it out. And so we overcomplicate, like, relationships a lot of time, because it's in simplicity. It's in those simple moments where you just have a bag of chips open.
Or it was impromptu. You just got together because there was a moment. And it's the best time that you ever had without any plans.
Yeah, but we tend to overcomplicate. I don't know if you agree with me.
Oh, I absolutely agree. And I think that's the beauty of the 5 love languages, is it simplifies what we need. Like, when you're saying quality time, it doesn't have to be, oh, we're going on a cruise or something crazy. We don't have to go to a fancy dinner and have that be quality time. Quality time is I'm on the couch and we're talking about something important to us. Like that's beautiful quality time. And I think a lot of people would do better to say, what do you really enjoy? Because if you really enjoy it, it doesn't have to be over the top. The cookies, that's great for somebody that likes to receive gifts. If you like acts of service, a cooked meal, it doesn't matter how good that cooked meal is, they're probably going to really enjoy that because you took the time to cook it. So it's like, if I know what your love language is and I can get in there with you, I actually can go really simple and still achieve greatly with you. And as far as how we're connected and how satisfied we both are with the situation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And make it fun, you know?
Yes.
I don't know. Just make it, we have to make relationships fun, because we get into this role of like, we're adults, we're mature. And I'm not saying go out and do some foolish things. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
But do be silly sometimes.
Yeah, you know, like you have to be silly and just fun and light. The older I get, the more I realize, like, I wasted a lot of time trying to fancify a lot of things, or trying to make things perfect. And so many things didn't even get done because I was waiting until they could be perfect. Yeah. And I was talking to, actually last night, I had a gathering with my closest girlfriends. And so these are the friends that have walked with me and with us, like in our toughest times and our best times. And we were talking, it just kind of just happened that we were talking about when tragedy hits, right? Because one of our dear friends wasn't able to be here because her brother passed away. And one of my friends was like, you know what? She said, when my dad passed away, she's like, I looked at the room and it was packed. There must have been like 250 people there for my dad's funeral. She's like, and all I was worried about was finding you somewhere in the seats. And it hit me because she's never told me this before. She found out that her dad was in the hospital when she was in labor. She went in to like have her baby, and they call her and they're like, hey, dad's on his way to the same hospital you're at. It looks like he had a stroke. And so she's like, she just got there. It was just admitted. And so she asked for permission to go over to the room to check on her dad. And they're like, we'll let you know. Then the doctor comes in and tells her your dad just passed away.
Oh.
So
yeah.
yes. So right after giving birth, and I had just given birth a month before that. Our kids are a month apart. And so it was a hard season for me to be there for her because I had just had a complicated delivery and a C-section. And so so she was telling me yesterday, she said, look, she said, I knew you couldn't be there for me. Like I wanted you to be there. She said, but just knowing you were in the room, she's like, I could handle the rest of the day. She's like, even though you weren't right there next to me, like holding my hand, she's like, just the fact that I knew you made an effort to be there. She's like, that did it for me. And so I just
they feel brings like a balance
to them. Yeah. And so I was like, wow, like I didn't realize that. I wish I would have known that. I could have done a little more. So all night I was thinking like, man, what should I have done better? You know? And I'm like, you know what? It's done. Now how do I continue to be this person that she knows will always be in the room with her? Yeah. You know? So it's simple things.
Yeah. Yeah. How powerful though that just like you guys are so close and you make her feel whatever it is, like obviously you make her feel joyful and strong by your presence. I think that's like the kind of relationship that we're all looking for platonically, right? Like these pillars in people that keep us standing no matter what's going on, no matter what the storm looks like.
Yeah, and with that, Morris, we were talking before we jumped on here, right, about because we think, oh, our friends most likely will be my age, that we can play ball together, that we can go hiking together, we can do things that I like together, but
have the same interests.
Yeah, same interests, and it's completely the opposite of that. We have friends that are 80 years old.
Wow.
There's a couple that they're our mentors, and they are our friends. We can break bread together. We can joke together, and
we can talk to them about anything. I mean, there's a certain level of like respect, of course, like motherly and fatherly. We feel like that with them, but there are friends. Like if I am having in a situation with Jorge, like I can tell them that if I want to talk about intimacy,
she can tell on me.
I can tell on him. And not like I'm telling on him with his parents, but like I know they're going to be friends and
they're going to provide some good feedback and recommendations.
We can joke with them about the silliest things. We can, just be dumb for a moment and be funny with them. We can hang out. They could probably hang out longer than we can. I don't know how. They can stay up longer because they're at the stage where they can go and sleep the whole next day if they want to. They're retired, so they're good. But anything, finances, emotional things, faith things, fun things, business things, sexuality things, like anything, we can come to them. And they're there. And they're like 80 years old. And then we also have those friends that are younger than us, and we have those that are with us. But we believe that relationships should always be a sandwich, and you should always be. So think of an Oreo, and you're always the filling. Okay, always. You should always be that sweet filling in the middle that holds things together. And so on the outside, right, it's an Oreo like this. Like there's a higher, you're in the middle, and then there's like right below you. And it's like those friends that are taking you higher. The friends that know more, do more, been there, done that. I think I already said have more, but they're just like, they're smarter than you. They're faster than you. They're better than you. And not in a negative way, but they are. And they like put a fire under you, right? They inspire you. Not like, oh, I'm going to have what they have, but like, oh man, this is exciting. I want to go where you're going. Right. Yeah. And so they're taking you there with them. And then there's the ones that are where you were once. They're not below you. They're just like,
no, because
they're on their way to
learn. You still learn from them.
And so they remind you of where you've been, where you've come from,
what you did to get out of there.
What you did to get out of there, right? You learn from how they're doing things quicker and faster than you are, right? When you're at their stage, but you're also bringing them up. So, right. But then these guys over here, the Oreo, they're not done, because if you're following them and they're going higher, it means they also have their Oreo part too, right? They have their people. Right.
They're mentors. They've learned in their ways. And what's really cool is that in some of these friendships, and the probably the 60s, 70-year-olds, 80s. It's funny because they will make a recommendation, you guys should do this, but we know that it's more
when they make a recommendation.
It's not really
like,
a recommendation.
You're
Okay.
gonna do it.
That's the expectation that's not stated, right? Like, I gave you this recommendation, so you guys go take care of it.
And we've been very fortunate, Morris, to be around different capacities and different experiences in people's lives. And I think that what makes us, and I'm going to say good friends, is that we're open to their friendships and they're open to our friendships. And we just want to learn from every single friend that we have. It's not always about feeling that we're superior or that we're at a certain point. It's about learning everything that you can. And then I was saying, remembering where we were, because sometimes we might end up making that same mistake again. And even if it's in the future and we're supposedly wiser, right?
Yeah. But friends, you just have to, you have to make a decision. You see people with all their flaws. And
knowing that I have them.
Yes, all their flaws and all their gifts and goods, right? And you can't go through life with a friend that you're always going to be complaining about, right? Like, oh, they're always like this. Oh, they always do that. Oh, I don't get it.
Right.
Because we've done that. We've been that person. And I have been that person that's complained about this friend and I'm still friends and I'm tired of it and I'm this and that. And I know, but we never see our blind spots. It's always easier for me to see things on your side, right?
That's good.
So then, so I'm not saying I've never done it, but like there was this friend that Jorge was just like all the time. Like every time he came back from hanging out with this person, he was like bitter for the rest of the day. And so it came to a point where I said, look, babe, just like our friends, like shut up or do it, like I was like, look, babe, I need you to write down on a piece of paper all the good things that this person adds to your life, all the value they add to your life, and all of the things that weigh you down about them. And when you put that on a scale, I'm not even going to ask you to go with whichever one's higher or heavier or not. I'm just going to say, look at it and decide I'm going to accept this person and love this person and make this person a friend forever with everything that comes attached. With everything that comes attached.
Yes.
And take it as a given. I already know that they can be shady when it comes to money. I already know that they are going to, talk trash about their wife. I already know that they're going to do this, but I made a choice. So I'm going to love them like this, and I'm going to be okay with it. I'm just giving
right.
So I never spoke to him again. No, I'm just kidding. No. After I did that, for sure the scales were in his favor, because we need to let go of what we think is. Everyone has their own story. Everyone has their own vast of knowledge, and everyone is going through their things. And we sometimes we think we understand them, but we don't. So that's the mistake, I think, that we sometimes say, "Oh, I know what you're going through," when we really don't. So
yeah.
So friendship is so valuable, where we are friends in spite of the mistakes.
Yeah.
And a lot of those mistakes that I have.
Do you think yours and his relationship grew stronger once you accepted the flaws? Like once you said, I see you, I'm going to see you for the whole of you. Did that enhance that relationship?
Not only that one, Morris, it made our relationship way better, but it helped me to see my other friendships and my other relationships in that same way. And now it's like a paradigm shift. It's gold nuggets. These are gold nuggets.
And it doesn't mean that he never got bothered by him again.
Yeah, no.
But it's just the attitude was so different. You know what I mean? Like, okay, he would, of course. And it didn't mean that he could never come and complain to me, right? Because he was like, fine, I'll never tell you anything again. Like, I just like, you're the person that I can say this to. And so that was hard for me to understand too. Sometimes I just need to hear him, right?
Yeah,
I don't need to teach him a lesson, but that was a good one.
Yeah.
But I needed to understand too. Sometimes he's going to need to vent, right? Sometimes he's going to need to tell me. It didn't mean that he couldn't come to me. It didn't mean that he couldn't be bothered, but he, every time that he was with him, now he could focus on, man, this is a valuable friend that I want in my life, regardless of the situation. And not only focus and be bitter every single time because his mind was just on everything he wanted to change or fix in his friend.
Yeah.
But what I hear in another sense is that like this person was important because you're continuing to spend time with this person and then going home and saying, hey, like I'm trying to help this guy or this guy has all these flaws. You obviously cared about him. It just wasn't like the outlet wasn't visible until Marisol gave you the advice to go ahead and list everything and weigh what was good, right? And then now you see him in a more positive light. So then you can actually really help him go towards change. I think it's just beautiful and like recognizing, yeah, I'm venting about this person, but I'm venting more because this person is important to me than not.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. Do you remember that saying that we like having grace during the day for people? Do you remember that one? It's a really
I wish
good
I
one.
did.
But
It's something about
is,
like when you realize, and this is more like talking like spiritually, when you realize how much grace you require from God every single day, it helps you to be more generous when it comes to giving grace to others.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah, and I 100% believe that. 100% because it's like you were saying, it's very easy to look outward and think everybody else is worse off or not doing as well as you, but then you remember you required a lot of grace as well, and it's just a beautiful self-awareness that you can achieve when you buy into that.
Yeah.
Oh man, so good. Okay,
there's
you guys.
That Morris was saying earlier, and I was going to bring it up, and I forgot. It was good. This is a good conversation, Morris. Thank you.
Absolutely, I'm totally enjoying it. You guys did disc with Dr. Kanisha or no?
You know what? I did it. I think I volunteered once, but I'm yet to like dive into it.
Okay.
To see it.
I did a few years ago.
Do you remember what yours was?
It was, I think, I forget what it was. It was, I think.
I want to say I was IS, but I'm not sure.
You were the more extrovert side of things.
Yeah, and I could definitely see IS from Marisol.
Yes.
George, what do you think you were?
I know that I was a problem solver. I forget what letters they were.
C is like the analytical, organizational, more of the problem solver type.
Yeah.
So were you like CS?
Logical with this guy.
I believe so. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, so, where it was like fixing things with people for people type.
Give me
thing.
1 second.
Yeah. Of course. That disc was a good program.
Okay, and the reason I ask is because I really enjoyed the conversation and story that you were sharing about how you have friends of different ages. And one thing that I'm advocating for now, because I used to be very much all my friends are like me, not necessarily the same age, but my like similar personality styles. And when I did disc, I got SC, right? The peacemaker style.
That's it. That's it.
Oh, you're a peacemaker like me then.
Yes.
So my friends were all SC, CS, or some CS, right? Like almost all of them. And then I realized I was like, why? Like, is this something I'm doing intentionally, or what's happening where I'm only drawing in or accepting people that function or behave similarly to me? And I had to really do some inner work, and then I had some people that came along that were totally different, and then that I vibed with, and like in a platonic way, like fell in love with, right? And I'm going, this, I want more of this. Like I need more people who are actually different from me. So how, like thinking about that, where it's easier, because I think that's part of the problem. It's easier to attract people who are like you at the core. Yeah. How do you guys diversify your friend group? Like, how is it that you have friends that are older, younger, or just that have different thinking than you?
So I want to start off by saying, like, when we, like, I think I mentioned earlier, we were like, you and me under a bridge against the world, and we don't need anybody else, right? as we already said, I am more of the extrovert. He's more of the introvert. I am more like, let's step outside of the box. Let's see what's out there. I'm curious, like, what does it look like?
I'm like, let's stay home
and
this
he's like,
evening.
let's just stay with what we know. Let's stay inside, right? Nemo, when Nemo's like, I want to see what's out there. And the dad's like, come back inside, right? That was like us.
Yeah.
And so
Marisol's tapping the boat.
Yes. And so we've grown, we learned so much from each other, but then we realized that yes, we need each other. We want each other for the rest of our lives. And we're such a great team together. I'll say it. But there was like limbs we didn't have. Like maybe he and I were like an arm and a shoulder, right? So we could hang out together all day. Right. But it's like, what about when we wanted to go somewhere? We needed those friends that were like, shut up or sell the house, that would move. Right. So we needed a leg. Right. And so it's like we're a body. Right. Like you need all these other limbs. You need all these other parts. And so we realized like, hey, you and I can hang out a long time together as an arm and a shoulder. And like, it's pretty cool. Yeah. But if we want to go, like there's this one that says, right, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And we were like, oh, we want to go further. Like, what if? And so we're like, what type of people do we need to get us there? And I don't mean like use people. Like what type of people can we go there with? Right. And so we realized like with these friends, they've been so like important in our life because we were like, man, we're so for my birthday, I just turned 40 and she gave me a bottle and it was like, she decorated it. It was really nice. And it was literally water and oil. That's all it was.
Nice.
And I was like, nice. Yeah. I'm glad you did a little piece of craft for me. I don't know what to do with it. Like, I'll find a nice place for it. She goes, you don't get it? And I was like, yeah, you put in work. Thank you. And she was like, no, you don't understand why it's special. And I was like, Lord, help me. What does she need me to answer right now? And she was like, it's you and I. And she's like, we're like water and oil. We'll never people mix. Think we'll never mix. She's like, but we're so good together. And I was like, whoa, it's so true. Cause if you met her and met me, you would never think we're friends. But it wasn't until we decided, hey, it's you and me forever. Like we're locked in. You're not going anywhere. Like you don't have a choice. But we also need you need guy friends that will, whatever other areas he needs. And I do too. And when we opened our mind to that and we set our rules, right? We're like, okay, well, how do we protect our marriage and how do we protect our friendship, right? And our oneness, but still allow ourselves to go and have our needs met. And how do we add value to others also? Because if it's just you and me existing together, like what are we doing for this world? Like, why are we even here? What's the purpose outside of us?
I like how Morris started this whole thing where, and I completely agree. It's easier to hang out with people that are like you because you're like, oh, this is what I think of that, and then he's like, oh yeah, me too, and or oh yeah, you're right, and it's like yeah, but we're not seeing other aspects of situations. And when you go and you purposely or you intentionally find people that are different than you, that expands you. It expands your mind. It expands your horizons. You see things that you didn't see, and even you could call it constructive criticism to your life, from those that see things differently. You're better for it. And again, you were talking about blind spots. We were talking about how do we grow and how do you acquire friends that will help you grow. Look for those that are different than you. I think that
they're doing things you're not doing. They see things you don't see. I've come to a
realization that and a lot of it has been from my mentors, from my supervisors. Even they're like, yeah, you're doing great, but I want to put you on this project with this person, and it's a person.
And he's like,
absolutely yes.
But you know what? We've developed friendships with people that are so different than us, and we are better for it. And we are just have been impressed by them. And
yeah, because sometimes what you've been doing for a long time is working, or you think it's working. But honestly, more it's like when it was just us two, it was great. It was beautiful. I mean, we're so blessed to have each other. Mm-hmm. But when we allowed ourselves to have a set of rules and then go out there and find those friends, I mean, I kid you not, Like I said, our finances have quadrupled. We have a business now. We are happier. Like, not that we didn't make each other happy, but like we're doing more. And when you're actually living to serve others, like it's just such a better life. Like it's a significant life. And we're excited about that with each other.
That meaning,
right?
It adds meaning to everything.
Yeah, like I can come and say, hey, babe, like we did this. And he's like, oh, we did this. And like, oh, now how can we, And so it's just like, I don't know. I can see it like in the movies, like, I don't know, like there's a, like a piece, and then all these pieces start adding, and then I have like this huge thing. I don't know. I'm seeing it in my head. You all can't. Maybe more so you can add like some graphics here. Like what I'm saying, so cool, right? Like I was just thinking, like it could be just you, going along, and that's fine. But then you have all these pieces that come and add up.
She
and then
almost punched me.
You have this super. I'm by the way, when it comes to love languages, I'm touched. If you guys have not picked up on any of this through this whole time,
I love it.
I'm not gonna go do this with some other man, right? Like,
well, I tell her sometimes. I tell her,
so,
babe, you gotta stop touching strangers. Like, she'll be like, yeah, friend. And then I was like, babe, some people don't like that.
Don't like to be touched. I was like, what? They don't. Who doesn't? That's weird.
I'm picturing a fountain here. A fountain pouring into you, and then you pour into others. Whereas if you're just keeping the blessings to yourself, you're just keeping that knowledge to yourself, you become stagnant. Then what happens to stagnant water?
It
stinks. It rots. And so
there's bacteria, and then anything that comes to it will also be rotten.
Contaminated.
Right. Yeah. That's so good. That is so good. So tell me about how, because I think for married couples, when we look and we say we're going to have friends that support our relationship, the scary part could be the opposite, right? Is that you have people who want to come and tear apart your marriage, whatever that looks like. How does that look like when you say you protect your marriage?
So there need to be guidelines there. We need to know and be aware of maybe friends that what are they feeding you? What do their conversations sound like? What are they telling you? Are they, for example, in a marriage, are they pushing you to be closer to your spouse? Are they rooting for your marriage, or are they trying to drive you apart? And that's one of the things, because we need to see where their heart is. And I'm not saying get rid of them, but we got to find a way to support them. But sometimes you have
to be protective and aggressive for the things that matter to you. And they have to share the same values. You don't have to be the same. You don't have to like the same things. You don't have to do the same things, but we have to have the same values or very similar values. For example, and for us, we believe that any friends that we have, whether it's his friends, my friends, or our friends together,
that we bring into the house,
around our automatically, if they're allowed into our circle, it's like a nonverbal way of telling our kids you're allowed to follow in their footsteps.
Wow. Yeah, I love that.
Because how can and I'm not talking about like people who drink, people who don't drink or do or don't do. I'm not going into that.
This is not acquaintances or people that we're trying to support and help.
No. Like
our
friends.
These are
like
friends.
Intimate groups, right? Like they're allowed in our home. And so let's say I have a buddy who's, just gets kind of wild and crazy and nonsense, right? Like, let's say they're drunk and they come to my house and they're like cussing or doing like, I don't know, whatever I wouldn't want my kid to do, right? And so my kids are like, Mom, like he was being foolish and he peed on the Christmas tree. I don't know, whatever, something like that, right? Random. And that's or his best friend.
That's for another time. That's for another time.
Right? So this is literally like what he saw his dad's friends do, right? And he was like one of them. And so if I allowed that in my home and I tell my son, I'm like, don't worry about son. That's just how he is. He's just like, he doesn't mean to. He just gets a little crazy and that's fine. Like next year when my son gets home like that and he wants to pee on the Christmas tree and I'm like, absolutely not. You will not have this type of behavior. Like, when did I allow you? When did I model that to you? What makes you think you can come into our home and do this? Well, Why would you allow someone else? And I am your son. This is my home. Why can't I do it? Right?
Yeah, that's fair.
That's like with our friends. If they're not friends that we could 100% allow our kids to be influenced by them, then they can't be in our intimate group. because it's kind of like a nonverbal permission. And so my husband has started a tradition where he does a rite of passage with our kids, with our boys. We have 3 boys. When they turn 12, we go out to some wild area.
The first one we did in Yellowstone.
Yeah.
The second one was Lake Tahoe area.
Lake Tahoe. So he takes them way into like the wilderness, and he like they don't know when, they're not expecting it, it's not planned. And so there's like he buys like this very special knife, and he like stabs a tree with it, and
the tree's okay.
The tree's okay, guys. We promise. And so then he takes them on a walk. He does that before, and then he takes them on a walk, but he doesn't go alone. On that walk, he takes.
Well, they when they find the knife, then very important people in our lives, they'll come out of behind the trees, or sometimes they'll be walking with us on that trail, and it's those people that we want them to look up to, that I can trust, that in my absence they would be able to raise them up as
oh my God, that's beautiful. Yeah.
Or he gives them permission right there and says,
yes.
Listen, son, I hope that you can trust me with anything. I hope that you would come to me, but if ever I have for some reason not giving you the trust, or you're embarrassed, or you feel ashamed, or you're nervous about coming to me, I give you permission to take their advice, and I give you permission to go to them first.
Speak to them. Yes.
And speak to them, because I know they're going to speak life into you. And so at that same time, he's committing them, right? That they would guide him in a way that they know him enough that he can trust them.
Yeah.
And so it's super cool, because it's like they're right there in the forest and the wild, and like, here's who's got their back in those, tough and like goat situations,
And it puts responsibility on them too. For example, it's one of my close friends. At one point, it was one of my uncles that was with us, and my father, of course, my brother, and then they're seeing that responsibility. My one of my cousins was there with Jacob, and he was very young. He was 19 at the time.
19.
So
now every time he's around,
time
that he's not 19 anymore, but I've realized that every time he's around Jacob, he gravitates to him, and he's like, how are you doing? What's going on? Are you struggling with anything? And so it's pretty cool, because when you trust your friends, so as people, I used to say human beings, but I think I'm saying beans, like
beans.
So I don't say that anymore.
Human beings.
Okay. Yes. Anyway, I don't say it correctly. So as people, we tend to want to meet expectations. Oh, you think I'm rude? Let me show you how I can be rude. Oh, you think like, what's the point? Why am I going to try? They think I'm a loser anyway. Like, I'm not going to go try for somebody, right? Or, oh, you think I'm great? Oh, I better be on my best. Like, you trust me. Like, you think I'm great. And so with our friends, guys, like, we don't always have to be the one up here. We don't have to be the know-it-all. We don't have to be the strongest. We don't have to micromanage. Sometimes, right? You'll read it, but give your friends trust. Like, give them trust with things that matter to you, and watch them step up. And like, that just, it helps you to breathe too, right? Relieves anxiety. Like, I don't know. It's just, we honestly, like, we don't know all about relationship, but what we do know is that we have stepped out of our comfort zone when it comes to friendships. We have, like you said, allowed ourselves to be drawn and draw people that are so different from us, that do things way different than we would. And it doesn't mean that we're doing things like they do them now, but we've just welcomed them and learned from them. And we are just living our best life when it comes to relationships right now.
Oh my God. It's good. It's so good. The nuggets that you guys have left for the audience, I couldn't have asked for more. Like, just hearing how you allow those important people in your lives, friends and family, to influence your kids and to say, hey, it's like tying the knot for both of them. You can go to these important people to me, but important people, I want you guys to know, like, you can influence my kids, and I would expect that if something happened to me, right? Like, it's so powerful, and it's exactly what I'm advocating for, is that friends enhance everything. Like, they can enhance every single aspect if we allow friendship to do that.
Yes.
We need it. I mean, if you go back to, again, anybody can be watching this, but we are a family of faith. And if you go back to that, because a lot of times people in faith will be like, all you need is your husband and your wife, and like, you got to protect that. You do have to protect that. Number one ministry, number one church, number one relationship is your home, right? And so you can't be a lighthouse out there and then shadows in your own home. So you got to protect that, right? But like, how do you spread what you have, right? You have to spread that joy. You have to learn from others. You have to, like Jesus, who was he, right? Like, for those who believe, and if you don't, that's okay. But listen, like, if he was this supreme being and he needed friends, he had 12 disciples hanging out with him at all times, right? And each one of them played a different role. They weren't equal.
And there were different types of friends, right?
There were different types of friends. There was
the 12. Then he had the 3 that were super close to him.
Even closer to those, and then those 12. He was probably complaining to those 3 about the 12, right? This is probably in there like gossiping about the 12, right? I don't know, but there is like the one that was like, when he got to the house of the 3, one of them was really busy trying to make things perfect, and the other one was like sitting at his feet, and she's like, watch her, she's like, she's not helping me. And he was, I can tell he was a quality time type of person, because he was like, stop cooking, stop cleaning, just
stop
come
what you're doing.
Me,
come hang out with me.
Come hang out with me. Like, you don't have to have things perfect for me right now, right? Like, I just need you to be here. That's it. Because I'm about to leave and get to business, right?
Yeah.
So like Gandhi, like Mother Teresa, like any great person that you look at, there are going to be people around them. They were not, doing things alone. We were not born from an egg, an eggshell, and then like we had to go out there and fight life on our own. We were born from a human, right? Because from birth to death, we were created to be interconnected with others. All right. So anytime
locked in.
What does loneliness do? It's like smoking 15 cigarettes a day.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that you have to be right there. It's like my friend said, she's like, you didn't have to be sitting there next to me. And I was in a room with 250 people, but I felt alone until I saw that you were 3 seats behind me. So it's beautiful. Like,
yeah.
Just knowing you're there, guys. It's not complicated. We all need other people. Find your village, whatever that looks like. It doesn't have to look like our village. It doesn't have to look like Morris's village, but have fun, because
and for us, Morris, it's a privilege to speak with you, and we consider you our friend. And
same here.
Like I was saying earlier, we've been in professional capacities together. We presented together. We've had you as keynote speaking in some of our areas in our businesses and things like that. But then there's that friendship side to it too, and we really consider you a friend, and we appreciate the person that you are. You are an example to others, and just you need to keep going, my friend, because you are definitely a blessing for many, many people.
Thank you guys so much. And thank you for joining me on this Saturday. I can't tell you how much I enjoyed this conversation and cannot wait to share this with the world. Well,
us too, right?
Yes.
You enjoy this moment?
Absolutely. Have fun. Do some funny things too, guys. Like, I don't know.
It's not all business, right?
It's not all business.
Right.
You gotta have fun. You gotta cry.
Be
you gotta
silly.
laugh
at yourself. Don't take yourself too serious.
Don't take yourself too serious.
So, Jorge and Marisol, is there like a social media that the audience in general can find you guys on?
Yes. So difference. I right now probably Facebook, Difference Maker Academy. We are working on our webpage. But yeah, Difference Maker Academy, or just simply Marisol Escalante. Jorge does not have social media, guys.
Okay.
In a sense.
I will definitely link Difference Maker Academy, and then that way they can see your business as well.
And also if you want to link, because there are so many resources that I want to speak about, because I happen to work for Victor Elementary School District, and we have a family resource center that we provide so many helps.
Hey, you want to do something fun with your friends? You can go take a sewing class there. You can go learn another language together. You can go hang out and have coffee there. But also, he has a lot of resources for mental health, social emotional health, housing.
Yes, English learning classes, Spanish learning classes. A lot of parenting classes.
And it all has to do with friendship, because you can help a friend through this, whatever they need, right? Or you can walk together, or you can make sure you get your stuff straight so you can be a better friend to others.
So if you go to VESD FRC, that's V as in Victor, E as in Edward, S as in Sam, D as in Dominique,
David, I don't know.
Mars
Domino's.
Mars knows all those codes.
Delta, yeah.
Delta, fancy.
Okay. FRC as a Family Resource Center. Just look it up on Facebook or Instagram. You're able to directly access those courses and see what we have to offer. And yes, tell a friend about it.
Okay, and I'll make sure I link those as well. Stories of friendship. Thank you guys so much for joining and listening in on this podcast. Let's give a big shout out to Marisol and Jorge for coming on here with me on this Saturday morning. I will definitely have them back on so we can continue this conversation. Take care for now.